Hey guys, I'm back again as promised. Still looking tired, but anyway, I told you guys I was going to do kind of a different well, definitely a different kind of video, and I hope that you guys will enjoy it. It was just something I thought of. Um, I don't really have enough people that would send in questions to ask at the moment. So I decided to um, come up with some things of my own as they popped into my head, and I wrote them down. And so I'm going to kind of tell you guys a little bit about myself using my little notes here. So I think I have almost 5 pages, yeah. And so I'm going to try to get through these as well as I can. I don't know how long it's going to take because it depends on how many tangents I go off onto. But I mean, there are certain things I am not going to share about myself. Like I don't really want to put my name out there, and I don't want my kids, my husband, any of their names out. And I am not going to tell anyone where I live, obviously, for obvious reasons. And but anyway, I don't mind sharing some of the information about myself. And so I thought I would do that today and see if you guys like this. And if you do, maybe at some other point I will do it again. But I'm going to try this Dollar Tree Snickers. I bought this, as you guys know, weeks ago, I think. It's been in my fridge and I haven't tried it, but it smells like a Snickers. But let's see if it tastes good. Ooh, it tastes like a Snickers. That's good. Give myself a little caffeine jolt since I didn't sleep well. Actually, I stayed up way too long because I had a great book that I was reading. And I was getting to a good part. But anyway, so this is all random, like I said, and it is written down in the order that it just popped into my head. So I may talk about something later down the line that you might think should have gone back with something else, but it may not have popped into my head then. So it's going to be random. But I hope you enjoy it. So if you do, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you'd like to leave me a comment, I would appreciate that. And just let me know if you do how you like this type of video. Okay. The first thing I thought of is, what is my favorite color? And some of these things I might have told you before. The majority of it I have not. But there are a few things you may know already, and that may be one of them because I'm pretty sure I have said that. My favorite color is blue. And I also like black and gray and red. As for red, I usually like, I'm not into the like candy apple type red or orangey red. I am more into I guess you say more like blood red, for lack of a better thing to say. But yeah, I like blue, all sorts of blues. Blue's just it for me. I remember when I was a very tiny, small child, very tiny, child. I didn't need the tiny and small. But anyway, there was a very brief time when I said green was my favorite, and there was very brief time when I said that orange was my favorite. But green, those have gone away, and blue has been my favorite my whole life, except for those 2 little brief times when I was very small and I said that. And I do like black and gray. I dress in a lot of blue, black, and gray. I remember, I don't know if I told you guys, my best friend at the time, she came over one time and she was looking in my closet. I think we were getting ready to go out somewhere, and she looked into my closet, and she just went, "Oh," and said my name. And I said, "What?" And she said, "Don't you have any other colors?" And I was like, "Well, blue is my favorite color, and black and gray. What other colors do I need? I'm not going to have colors I don't like in there." But it kind of shocked her that most of my clothing was like that. I will say in the last several years, I have tried to branch out. I used to never wear pink. I did not like pink. I thought it was really kind of too girly, sissy, whatever. And so I didn't like it, but I really love pink now. And so I do have some pink things, and I have some other colors. Obviously, I have this yellow. So I didn't want you to think my wardrobe is totally blue, black, and gray. I do have some other colors now. Thank goodness. I have the colors of the rainbow. I have purple. I have everything. So, okay. That was a lot for just one thing. All right. My favorite place. My brace just got me. My favorite place. My favorite place in the world is England, and I have said that. I love it. I just absolutely adore it. I wanted to go there my whole life. I am a true Anglophile, and I love anything related to it. And I finally got the chance to go when I was 18. And I went after graduation with a group through school, and one of my best friends, she went too. And one of the other kids at the school who was younger than us, I think he was in ninth grade or something, or going in the 10th. He went. So we were the only 3 kids actually on the trip from the school that went. The rest were adults. And so some of which had been my teachers and substitute teachers, etc. But anyway, so I went when I was 18 and stayed for a couple of weeks and had a blast. And then I went again for my honeymoon. My husband and I went. He wanted tropical. I wanted England. And so I won. We went to England. He'd never been overseas, so he agreed to do that. And actually, while we were there, we got tropical because they had a heat wave, and a very unusual heat wave. And we actually, when we went to the Trooping of the Color Parade, which, celebrates the Queen's birthday, we got sunburned for standing out there all day. But it was really cool because we saw the whole royal family, including Prince Charles, who has always been my favorite. Oh, goodness. Whew, I've always had a thing for him since I was a little kid. But anyway, we saw the whole royal family. At that point, Diana was still alive, and so we saw her. And she was in a coach with William and Harry, so we saw them. Prince Charles was on horseback along with the Queen and Andrew and some of the others, Edward. And but anyway, we had a blast at that. And so he and I were on our honeymoon for a week. And then I went back with my oldest son. I took him, and we stayed for a couple of weeks. And I took him all over the place. We had a great time. We met up with some people that my husband and I knew from online, from being in a James Taylor chat room. And we made a lot of friends through there, and there were multiple meetups. We went concerts together. We had dinners together. We went to the beach together. And one of the girls I met through that is actually one of my very best friends, and has been for years and years now. And so she lives in England. She's a British girl. And so I went over and with my son, and we met up with her and some of our other, people that we knew from the group. And so that was a lot of fun. And the next time I went, the 4th time, I took my youngest son, and he and I stayed almost a month, and we had an absolute blast. That was the most fun I've ever had there, because we did anything and everything. I told him that, whatever he wanted to do and I wanted to do, we were going to go do it. And I rented a car for part of it. We flew into Dublin and went around Ireland and stuff, and took a flight to England, landed in Liverpool, and we went by plane, we went by train, we went by automobile because I drove part of the way, and we actually got a ride from somebody, which is a long story. I'm not going to get into all that. It was a lady. And we went by bus and just everything. So, yeah, I have a lot of stories about being over there. So that is my absolute favorite place. I love England and Ireland and Scotland. And so anyway, that's that. I could tell you so much about that, and I may tell you more at some point. Just kicked my stand. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, my goodness. Let me have a drink on that. This will probably keep me up all night. Okay. All right. The next thing is, what is my favorite candy? My favorite candy is Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I just love those things. Love them, love them, love them. And I don't take them and just bite them and eat them that way. I have to eat them a certain way. I'm sure that there are other people that do that. It drives my husband nuts. He thinks it's so crazy, but I like to bite off the top of it. Just the chocolate, so you can see the peanut butter, and then eat around the edge. And then I'll take bites out of the peanut butter and the bottom part, the part that's left, That's the way I like to eat them. It's like my favorite cookie. My favorite cookie is an Oreo. And I like to eat my Oreos a certain way as well. I don't just bite them and eat them. I take off the top cookie and I eat that. And then I scrape off the white and eat that, and then I eat the bottom. So that's how I eat my cookies. And let me know in the comments how many of you have weird eating type things like that. Okay, my favorite savory snack. My favorite savory snack would be Cheetos. I love Cheetos. They are so good. And I would say that my second favorite would be probably, I'd say chips and salsa. That would be my favorite. But I'm picky about my salsa. I like really good salsa. Foods that I hate. Oh, gosh. I hate cream corn. Gag. I hate little English peas. Gag. As I've gotten older, I can eat them like in a chicken pot pie or something like that. But when I was younger, I would pick them out. And there's no way I would eat them if they came out of a can or something like that. It was disgusting. Corned beef hash, no. That looks like dog vomit to me. Nope, don't eat that. Let's see, what else? There was something else I was going to tell you guys. I can't remember now. But anyway, that was enough. That was 3. Foods I hate. Cream corn, little green peas, and corned beef hash. The smell of that gets me, and just the look of it makes me want to vomit. Okay, now, my favorite clothes. My favorite clothes, I love to wear jeans and t-shirts. I have lots of different types of clothes. I have, dresses, I have skirts and blouses, I have blouses, I have sweaters, I have, you know, all kinds of stuff. But my very favorite is a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. And when I die, I want to be put into my favorite jeans, my favorite t-shirt, or one of my favorites, and my black leather bomber jacket, because I love it. And they can leave my feet bare if they want, or put on a pair of my favorite shoes. And I want to be cremated, and my ashes thrown into the Thames in London. I want someone to stand on the bridge at Westminster and look towards the Tower Bridge and toss my ashes in. That's what I want. But okay, so I told you my clothes and what I want to happen after I'm dead, which I didn't have written down here. Okay, tea or coffee? I would have said tea most of my life. Now I would say I like both. I didn't like coffee when I was way younger, but I enjoy it now. I'm crazy about coffee, but I am also crazy about tea. Not so much fruity teas. I like black teas, like Earl Grey, PG Tips, things like that. Coffee, I love all coffee. Okay, my favorite sandwich. It's very simple. PB&J. I'm a peanut butter and jelly girl. I could eat that at any time of day for any meal or snack or whatever. I love peanut butter and jelly. And it's weird because growing up, I didn't like peanut butter in anything except a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a peanut butter and sugar sandwich, which, yes, I did when I was very small. Which is very good, but you got the grit of the sugar, but it sweetened the peanut butter, which wasn't sweet enough for me when I was real small. I don't eat those anymore, though. And I like, I can't think of anything else I like peanut butter in when I was little. I do like it with bananas now, and I like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I can scoop out of the jar. So I do like peanut butter now. Okay. To cook or not? That is the question. I didn't cook very much when I was first married. I said that in another video. Unless it came out of a box or was frozen or whatever, I didn't cook it. I ate a lot of macaroni and cheese and spaghetti when my husband and I met. I didn't cook things like meat and all that because I've never been a big meat eater anyway. I tolerate it. But I learned to cook. He cooked when we were first married, and then I slowly learned to cook. And there was time when I really liked cooking, and I got accepted into the, what is it called? The big cooking thing in America. I can't remember, but there's one in Atlanta, but I did not want to move there to do that, so I gave up that idea. And now, I would say that most of the time I don't enjoy cooking. Sometimes I'll like trying a new recipe, but I just feel like it's, excuse me, it's a lot of trouble with little benefit. I've never been one that really cared about eating a whole lot anyway. It's just something that I do to keep from feeling terrible. So, even if it's something good, I can get into something good, but I could do without eating. It would be okay with me if we ate once every 6 months or whatever. But anyway, so I say no, I don't want to cook now. I do it most of the time, but since our kids are gone, we have started eating out a lot more. I'm funny about eating out. There aren't a lot of places I like to eat, and I worry about cleanliness and that type of thing. Okay, my greatest accomplishments, I would say my 3 kids. Having them, I think that was, is probably my very best accomplishment is having my 3 boys who I'm crazy about, and also getting my 4-year degree in nursing, and also writing more than one book. I wrote one when I was much, much younger, and I have another one that I finished as an adult. And have I published them? No. Have I tried to get them published? No, I have not. And will I ever try to get them published? I am leaning probably towards no, I probably will not. And the reason is I don't want to be rejected. If it would be rejected, that would be kind of devastating. And the other thing is, I didn't really write it for somebody else. I wrote them basically for myself because I enjoyed writing. You know, I've written my whole life since I was 4 or 5 years old. I've written stories and things. And so, yeah, I have written several books. The last one I wrote is a romance, and the girl is American and the guy is British. I will tell you that much about it. And yeah, so I think it's actually a pretty good book. But hey, I don't know. I went to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and that is where I graduated with my 4-year nursing degree. Absolutely love Chapel Hill. It's one of my favorite places on earth. I love the university there. I had some good times there. I did a lot of hard work there. I was very proud that I graduated from there. Got accepted and graduated and all that stuff. My former career was obviously nursing, and I never wanted to be a nurse on the floor. I wanted to be an operating room nurse, and so that's what I did. Originally, I wanted to be a surgeon, and I wanted to be a surgeon my whole life. Well, since I was about 12 or 13, I read a book called The Making of a Woman Surgeon, and that kind of got me really interested. And I was always kind of medical anyway, because my mom is a nurse and nurse practitioner. And so I read that, and that got me interested in it. And I wanted to be a surgeon. But then once I was in school for quite some time, I decided I really didn't want to do that anymore. It was going to take, to be a general surgeon, it was going to take so long to do that. So I just didn't feel like I was into it anymore. And so I still want to do something medical, basically. And I didn't want to be a writer, although that would have been a great school to become a writer, a journalist. I didn't want to be a journalist because I didn't want someone telling me what to do. I like to write what I want to write. I didn't want to be told what to write. So anyway. So I was a nurse for a number of years, and what I liked about it, I liked the whole talking with patients, you know, for the brief time I did, like before they went into surgery. They were in the holding area and alert, usually, and or at least alert enough where they could talk some, and it was nice, you know, speaking to some, talking to some, reassuring some. I like that part about it, and I like that it was an important job, and I did it well, and yeah, so I like that. And I like some of the surgeons I worked with. Some of them I despised, yeah. So that's part of what I didn't like. A lot of them were jerks, just really, really huge jerks. So I couldn't stand working with some of them, and I eventually got to the point where they didn't want to let me work with my favorite surgeon, even though he would request me. They didn't want to let me do that because there were some witches working there. So I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. So I got out of it. My husband said I could come home, take care of the kids. I homeschooled the kids for a while, so that's what I did. And I've done a few little things since then, you know, just when I want to get out of the house for a while and make some money or whatever. But that was my career. I was an OR nurse. One of the things I really, really hated, I just want to tell you guys about it. We have something called a Bovie, and you use it to cauterize, you know, blood vessels, so they'll stop bleeding and stuff. And there was one surgeon that used a separate machine from everybody else. And the other guys, you know, they would take their little Bovie pen and they would cauterize and use this one little machine. Well, this guy used this great big machine that had to be hauled into the operating room. And it had a, I guess you'd call a gauge on it, and it would go back and forth like this. It would go this way and come back down, and, you know, it would get to a certain level, or he'd make it go this high or whatever. But the horrible thing about it was the circulating nurse, which is what I was. You have to have a 4-year degree. You know, you have to be a nurse to do that. The nurse had to stand there and watch that gauge. I mean, it's not like I didn't have a million things to do. I mean, paperwork was, there was so much paperwork I could barely get that done before the cases were over sometimes. Because my favorite surgeon, he could do gallbladder surgery in 17 minutes. That's from open to close. That's quick. So anyway, I had plenty of paperwork. I had a ton of stuff I had to do. If one of the surgeons or anesthesiologist or anesthetist or whatever, anybody needed something, it wasn't in the room, I had to go find it, bring it, blah, 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 whatever. Well, with this guy, you had to stand there next to the machine and watch that gauge. And not only watch it, he didn't know, I don't know why he didn't know what was, whatever. But you had to stand there and say, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I'd start doing it like that. It feels real slow. And I mean, sometimes it's like up, down, up, down, up, down. You were saying that, or up, and it would hang up there, down, up, down, up, down. And oh my gosh, that drove me nuts. And it was just, you felt like everybody in the room was looking at you, you know. It just got to be kind of ridiculous. I mean, up, down, up, down. Oh gosh, I'll let you think about that in a minute. But it was so, so, so ridiculous. I hated it. And so I really hated working with him. It just felt like a nut standing there saying up, down, up, down, up, down. You know, just, it had weird connotations. And I'm sure I wasn't the only one. Okay, let's move on from there. All right. I have been married once. I am still married. I have 3 sons. None of my sons live at home anymore. I had one sibling, a younger brother. He was killed in an automobile accident when he was 21 years old. And so he has been gone a long time. He's actually been gone now longer than he was here on Earth. Anyway, I feel like I was cheated out of that, having him, and my parents were cheated. And any future children he could have had. You know, I feel like we were cheated out of those as well. But anyway. Okay, what I will not discuss on my channel, I will not discuss politics. Definitely will not discuss politics. I have my political views, and I don't care to get into an argument on my channel about what they are. And no one's going to change the ones that I have anyway. So that's one thing I won't discuss. The other thing I'm not going to discuss is I'm not going to discuss religion and get into an argument about religion on my channel. As far as sports, I might say something about sports, but it would be along the lines of that the Tar Heels are my favorite basketball team. And when I was a kid, Cincinnati Reds were my favorite baseball team. I'm not going to argue with anybody about any of that. If you don't like them, that's fine. I just don't want to hear about it. So, yeah, that's the three things that I basically will not discuss: politics, religion, and probably not too much along the lines with sports. Okay. This is weird. How I feel about fresh flowers is I love flowers. I love fresh flowers. I love them in the yard. I love it when my husband brings me home flowers. I love fresh flowers. I don't particularly like the smell of lots of them gathered together. And sometimes it doesn't have to be a lot together. It can just be a few. And the reason I don't like it is because the smell reminds me of a funeral home. It reminds me of a funeral home. And I just, I don't like that smell. That's what it makes me think of. And I stayed at the Waldorf Astoria in New York a couple of times. And they always had these great big, huge, I mean, humongous floral arrangements right when you walk into the doors. And they're about as big as this chair, you know. And so as soon as you walk through the door, you get assaulted by this funeral home smell, because that's what I think of when I smell the flowers. I love staying there. That has been one of my favorite places I've ever stayed, but I don't like that smell. No. Okay, so that's kind of weird, I guess. All right. Wet, soggy toy and that one of the dogs put here. Okay, my favorite drink. I like Coke. And, I'm sorry, my eyes are itching like crazy. I got allergies. I like Coca-Cola. It's been my favorite for years and years and years and years and years. I've liked it since I was a tiny kid. And ginger ale. I also like ginger ale. I don't like Seagram's that much. I like Canada Dry. To cheese or not to cheese? That is the question. Cheese, baby. Cheese it up. Anything you can cheese up, cheese it up. I love, love, love cheese. I love all kinds of cheese. There's rarely been a cheese that I did not like. Okay, my favorite song. I don't have a favorite song. There are way too many songs out there to have a favorite. So I can't choose. I can't choose a favorite song. Favorite TV show. We don't watch regular TV. We do the whole Hulu, Netflix, Paramount, you know, all of those things. Netflix, I said that. I don't really have a favorite one, though. There are certain ones I watch, but I don't really have a favorite TV show. My favorite movie, same with the movie. There are too many movies out there to say you have a favorite. I can't understand how somebody could have a favorite. Too many good ones out there. But I will say that my favorites have Rafe Fiennes in them. I will say that. And that moves me on to the next thing, favorite actor. My favorite actor is Rafe Fiennes. And that is where I get my username from. Fiennes Girl. Uh, yeah, he is the finest man in the whole wide world. The most handsomest man to me that ever walked the face of the earth. He is stunningly beautiful. I have met him twice, and he is even better looking in person, if that could even be possible. Oh, goodness. Okay. Alrighty. So that's my favorite actor. My second favorite would be Liam Neeson, who actually is a friend of Rafe's. So, my favorite musician, that would be John Lennon. Definitely. What flavor potato chips? Um, um, what was I going to say for that? Oh, salt and vinegar. Love salt and vinegar chips. I also like those dill pickle ones. Those are good, but salt and vinegar, that's my favorite. Ketchup or not? I like ketchup, but I don't. A lot of people put it on all kinds of things. I only like it on hash browns, French fries, and meatloaf. It's not even something I put on a burger. If we cook burgers at home, I don't put ketchup on it. I put mustard and mayonnaise. So I eat ketchup on three things. Obsessions. I do have some obsessions. Okay. One of them is clean teeth. I can't stand nasty teeth. I don't like to feel fuzzy things on my teeth. I don't like that fuzzy feeling. I don't like stuff between my teeth. I can't eat corn on the cob. Well, I can't eat it now because of braces and my whatevers. But I can't stand to eat corn on the cob and not immediately go and floss and brush after I eat it. There's no way I could sit after eating it without going to do that. Um, I floss every day, sometimes multiple times a day, and have for years and years and years. I can't stand nasty teeth and brush multiple times per day. So I'm a fanatic about my teeth. All right. My hair, that's another one of my obsessions. I have been obsessed with it for years and years and years because it is high maintenance. It is has been a problem for my whole life. It is fine, very fine. It frizzes in humidity, and so it's I'm not one of the girls that can just pull her hair up or throw it on top of her head and go. I've never been that type of girl, never will be that type of girl. I don't have that type of hair, and I don't have that kind of, I guess, ease about myself that I would do something like that. I mean, I have before, but not to go out. Okay. I mean, I barely would put a ponytail in, and that would be around the house maybe if I was really hot. So, my hair is an obsession. My teeth are obsessions. Um, okay, my pet peeves. Well, I don't like people that lie. I don't like people that talk loud in restaurants. If I'm there with somebody eating, like my husband and I are out to eat, I don't want to hear somebody else's. We're trying to talk. I don't want to hear somebody else's conversation. You know, six booths away from us. I want to hear what he's saying. I don't want to hear what they're saying. Same with cell phones. I can't stand it when somebody's walking around in a grocery store, whatever, and they're talking real loud on their cell phone. I don't really want to hear them. I don't want to hear the person they're talking to. Because usually those types of people, the person they're talking to is so loud that you also hear them. And so I don't like that. Pet peeves. Let's see. Um, Okay, this kind of goes along with it, sort of, but it's like little things that bother me. Um, I think I've already told you guys I don't like tags in my clothes. They feel scratchy to me, so I don't like that feeling. I don't cut every single one out, but some of them do get cut out because I can't stand it. I don't like the feel of it. I don't like fingernail polish. I can stand fingernail polish on my, well, polish on my toenails because it's not something I really feel, but I can feel it on my fingernails. I have very thin fingernails and toenails too, really, but for some reason I can feel it more on my fingers, and I don't like that feeling. It's nasty feeling, so I don't like it. And I also don't like seams on socks. I don't like when they give you a toe wedgie, or if they're not quite right over your little toe. They have to be just a certain way. You guys are going to think I'm nuts. They have to be a certain way, or it's just not comfortable. And so I have literally put my tennis shoes on and thought they were okay, but they weren't okay. And I ended up having to take my shoes off 3 times until I finally got it where that seam was not bothering my toe. If it's bothering me, I can't stand it. So, yeah. All right. All right. Boy, this is going to be a long video. I'm going to have to cut this short, guys. And save the rest for another video. My favorite animals, you guys should know this by now. I like dogs, especially Dachshunds and Yorkies. But I love most dogs. I'm not into some of the bigger dogs. I'm not going to say what ones, but because I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings or whatever. And I like hedgehogs and elephants, and I like birds. I used to raise zebra finches, and we had a pink cockatoo. So yeah, I love birds. Funny things my kids did when little. One of the funniest things we did, I may have told you guys, I don't know, but if you're new, you won't know this story, is when we took the kids to Disney one time. And actually, we've taken them several times, but this particular trip, my middle one was 4 or almost 4, and we went to Epcot. And so we'd gone through the gate, and we walked down a little ways, and my husband and I were talking about, the plan of action, where we were going to go first, and looking at a map and all this stuff. And we were watching the kids. My youngest was in the stroller, and the other 2 were standing around. But we happened to not look at what my middle son was doing. And so all of a sudden I looked up because we started to walk. And he had pulled up 2 of these huge mums that they had just planted. They had just planted these things because they still had a great big old root ball on the bottom. And he had just grabbed them like this and just pulled them up out of the ground. I don't even know how he managed to get those huge things. And so he was just walking along, just carrying the 2 mums. And I was like, oh my God. I said, called my husband's name. I said, look what he's doing. I said, go get those. I said, quick, before they throw us out of here. Go stick them back in the ground. And so he walked up there and got them and put them back in the ground. I about died. Oh, gosh. It was startling then, but it's been so funny all these years since to see that little tiny skinny boy holding these huge mums walking through Epcot. And I am just so glad nobody saw it and threw us out. It was funny though. And okay, and my oldest, one of his funny stories is when we were walking into Walmart one time. It was at Christmas time, and it was very, very cold. And it was my mom, my husband, and I, and our son. And so I think it was me. I said, "Whew, I'm cold." And he said, "I cold too." So that cracked us up, the "I cold too." We thought it was cute. It was funny when he said it, "I cold too." But yeah, he was very cute. And let's see, one of the ones with my youngest, we took him to a haunted house in Gatlinburg, Tennessee one time. And he was not impressed with that place. And so when we got out, he just plopped his hands on his hips and he said, "Don't you ever take me in that place again." And so that just cracked me and my husband up. Because he was a little tiny thing. He just put his hands on his hips and said, "Don't you ever take me in that place again." And so, yeah. But he loves haunted houses now. He didn't like them back then. Oh, gosh. Okay. I am going to stop this. This is video number 1. I'm going to have to make more than one video of this because, yeah, there's a lot of stuff on here. And I knew I'd go off on tangents if I explained it. So I am going to stop it. And I'll be right back.